Welcome to another video tutorial. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create pushable objects, whether that be crates, barrels, statues, or anything you want to sort of be able to push either left or right, forward or back, whichever you want to do. And we're going to cover three things in this video. We're going to cover, first of all, how to create a pushable object and how to be able to push it around. I'm going to talk then about how to restrict that movement range to a particular terrain type. So for example, you might have something on a rail or something that you just want to be able to push something along a particular rail or something like that. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this path here to restrict the pushable object just to the path. And then the last thing we'll cover is then once you've pushed that object onto a particular location, you can then have something happen. Okay, so let's get started by, first of all, how do you create a pushable object to begin with? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a barrel, and I'm going to place the barrel just here like so. Okay, now the first thing you want to do when you create a pushable object is you want to switch to the navigation tool, and you want to draw interact only lines anywhere where you want to be able to grab this object. So if I want to be able to push this object from where it currently sits in all directions, either up and down or left and right, then you'll need to draw that many lines, orange lines, leading to the crate first or the barrel first. Okay, if I didn't have those lines going up and down, just the orange lines going across, then from here I would only be able to grab the barrel from either this side or this side. Okay, and therefore I'd only be able to start pushing the barrel left or right. Now, once the barrel reaches this tile, it will then be able to go up and down and left or right. Let me show you the effect that this has in game. Let's save the map and quick play. So here we are in the game. Let me just turn the nav on so you can see how the navigation works. So from here, if I was to go up and round to the top side of the barrel, I can't click on the barrel. If I click on the barrel, I have to walk round to a side where I can actually grab that barrel. Now, what I forgot to do, actually, important step, is we forgot to make it pushable. So let's finish talking about how to create a pushable object first. So we've placed the barrel and we've drawn two interact lines connecting to the barrel from the left and the right. But then what you also need to do is with the select tool, this one here, select the barrel. I'm going to give it an ID called barrel_1, so I can use it later when we get to the scripting side of things. And then you're going to scroll down to where it says pushable. We want to turn that on. That's the most important thing. Now it's pushable. From here we can set the speed. So I'm going to leave it as it is, but you can increase that or decrease it depending on how fast you want to be able to push the object. And the terrain types we'll get to in a second. That's going to be how we can restrict where we can push this barrel. Okay, but for now we'll make it so you can push it anywhere. Okay, so let's now save and play. So here we are in the game. So let me bring down the console, turn the nav on so we can see how this is all working. So if I go up to the top of the barrel and click on it, from here I'm not going to be able to grab the barrel. Instead, what the character is going to do is walk around and grab it from one of the sides. And likewise, if I go down to the bottom and try and click on the barrel, again, it's going to go around and attach to one of the sides. And likewise, I can grab it from this side as well. Okay. Now, at the moment, I can only grab it from the side, either left or right, because that's where the orange lines are. However, the moment I move this barrel, let's say, to the right by pressing the D key, you'll notice now that there are 4 orange lines. So even though initially I could only go left and right, from here, if I wanted to, I could let go, come round to this side, grab it again, and now I could pull it up. Okay? Now, the reason I had to go round is because there's no connecting lines here for me to very quickly get from here up to quickly grow around that way. I had to go around the long way. But, so this is just to highlight that the orange lines are only for your initial starting position of the crate, of the barrel. So in this case, I don't see a need to restrict it to just left and right. So I'm going to save this and load it one more time. Really, if you want to be able to restrict the movement of an object, you would use the terrain types, which we're going to get to in a second. But one more time, let's just turn the navigation on. And now we can grab the barrel from, or crate from wherever we are. We can push it forwards. We can pull it back. We can let go. We can come round. We can grab it again. We can push it this way. We can let go, walk round, grab it, push it forwards. And we can push it onto the path, come round, grab it again, can push it along the path, let go. Let's push it one more. Let go. Go up, go around, grab the barrel. We can push it back onto the grass, etc., etc., etc. We can let go, come back around, grab it, pull it. You can see we can basically fully manipulate this barrel. Yeah. So now let's take a look at how we can restrict the barrel so that we can only push it and pull it along this dirt path. Okay, so now let's take a look at how to restrict the pushable object to certain tiles. So what we want to do first of all is we want to open the tiles up in the editor. So that's these two here, path 1 and path 2. So let's start with the crossroads one, and let's go to where it says terrain type in the model properties of your tile. I'm going to click the pencil icon, and we're going to create a new terrain type. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call this dirt pathway. Click OK and OK. And now that is the terrain type for this tile. We'll save path 1. Let's open path 2 and click the pencil icon. We don't need to create the terrain type again. It's actually now in the list, so we can just select that and click OK. So now both of these, when we've saved them, both of these tiles, path 1 and path 2, now have the terrain type of dirt underscore pathway. So what that now means is if we go back to the map and select our pushable object, let's delete it, because obviously it shouldn't be on the grass because we're going to restrict it. So let's paint green lines back to there. Let's grab the barrel again. Let's put the barrel on, let's say, there. Let's do something like that. And select the barrel. Go to pushable, turn it on. The speed is fine, but with the terrain types, what we're going to do is drop this list down, and we're going to restrict it to, and we're going to select dirt pathway. Okay. If you wanted to restrict it to multiple types, you could then, if there was a list of terrain types here, you could hold Control and you could select multiple ones. But in this case, we're only going to restrict it to this particular path. So now we shouldn't be able to push the barrel onto the grass. We can only push it left and right and forward in this particular instance. Okay, so let's save the map and let's test that out. So here we are in the game. If I bring down the console and type nav on, I go forward and I grab the barrel from here, I should be able to pull it back, but I can't because now it's restricted to the path. Okay, so we're basically saying you can only move this barrel along the dirt path, so you can't pull it onto the grass. So let's now let go and grab it from this side. We can push it this way, push it this way. Let's let go here. Let's grab it from this side. Can we pull it back? No, we can't, but we should be able to push it forward into place like that. Okay, and obviously we could have, let's grab it again. We could bring it back and we could pull it all the way to the side like that as well. So it can go all along the dirt path, but it just can never be pushed or pulled onto the grass. So from here, for example, I can grab it again, but I can't push it into this corner, because that would mean leaving the dirt path terrain into a terrain type that isn't dirt pathway. And this pushable is restricted to the dirt pathway. Okay. So the last thing to talk about is once we've pushed it, let's say onto this tile, we want something to happen. We want to stop being able to push the tile, the crate, barrel, whatever, and we want something to happen. So what we'll do is we'll select this tile and we will call this tile 2 just to give it an ID, and we want to scroll down to where it says scripts, and we want to set the trigger event to object stops on tile. Okay. And we're going to just do a quick script for this. Okay. And we're going to click the pencil tool and we'll just do it by hand. Okay. So we may as well write it in. So one thing to note about the object stops on tile event. There is a natural local variable that you can use called $object, which gets created and returned when an object stops on this tile and this event gets triggered. And this $object equals the object pushed onto the tile. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is if $object equals entity barrel 1, then that way we only want what's going to happen next to happen as long as it's the barrel that we've put on that tile, not just some random other object. Okay, so if object is barrel, then we want to replace navigation with object interact only to none. So we can't interact with it anymore, therefore we can't push it. We'll wait a second or maybe a couple of seconds, and then we'll play animation on $object break, which is a natural inbuilt animation that barrels have. So we'll validate that and OK on that. So just to go over the code quickly, what this tile is doing is when the object is pushed onto that tile and stops on that tile, i.e. it's finished being pushed, it will check if the object that it's detected in this event is the barrel. If it is the barrel, then replace the orange lines that are around the barrel as we move it to none, so we can no longer grab it. So in other words, it's now not pushable. Wait 2 seconds and then play the break animation on the barrel, so it should break. So let's just double check the barrel has the ID, barrel 1. No, so let's quickly put that in, otherwise it wouldn't work. And let's save and test. So let's turn the navigation on so we can see what's happening. Let's go grab the barrel. And now if I push the barrel onto this tile, as soon as it stops on this tile, the orange lines should disappear. And there we go. And then it breaks. So there you go. So that's also how you can then have something happen once you've pushed the object to where it needs to go, whether it be a pressure plate to open a door, whether it be, in this case, the barrel breaks at the end of being pushed, or a message pops up, or you solve a puzzle. And obviously what you could do if you, for example, wanted to solve a puzzle, you could have 3 pressure plates. And as each pushable object reaches a pressure plate, you could add 1 to a variable. And then when that variable equals 3, you could have, a door open or something. So lots of different things you can do with pushable objects. But really this video is just about how to create pushable objects and how to get them to work. Once you've got them working, you can experiment with what you use them for and what you do with them. So that will wrap up this video. Hope it's been useful. If you have any questions after watching this, feel free to ask on the Discord. But for now, that will wrap up this video. Thanks for watching.